Hello, Trinity College. There are many federal criminals with and as co-defendants of a former director of the FBI in a 2006 district case in Connecticut. Excuse me, 2006 district court case in Connecticut. That came about after it was proven in another part of a case slash S in the Trade Center attack context. Right before the attack, judges had been shown post-dated documents that was proven after had been handed in on time stamped to the Ninth Circuit, physically handed in on time to the Ninth Circuit in Manhattan, which is a court right next to the Trade Center, which it had a panel of judges showing post-dated documents from inside the court. Because these are people interstates that had before they did were roles with that, they were facilitated the crime acts roles against me and against the plaintiff in that case, and with people in other cases that were used for evidence in his case. In other words, proven too, but these are people further involved with a Scalora family, with interstates police through intercities police through time, criminally involved, police forms, foreign and domestic, criminally involved with overt criminal enterprises, other nations' police, private, overt criminal enterprises, and interbranch evidence crime acts roles, identity thefts, pretending they're about justice, writing fake things in the databases, having had that facilitated ahead of time. They're using child offenders, forcing child offenders not told on through administrations, through lifetimes. How we have Washington D.C. Trade Center tied to the crimes with a whole bunch of people, criminal uses of identity from off campuses in a state stream with the child offenders campus further involved with the police chief's family, his daughter, her husband, involved with crimes with people in my grades growing up. I never met her in my life. Never had a class in her life. She was in my grade. Her husband is involved with the John Mayano, with fake news crime acts with Los Salidos people involved with that, with police forms involved with them, with federal crimes together, with live progressions, identity thefts, needed to hide the same finite, active, and progressive lives, sequence shifts, identity theft, crime acts roles, with areas valuing what's off the ground of education, on off sustained crime acts against everyone self-valuing roles with it, blaming the real causes of negative value, nature, progressions, acts, natures, other things, others themselves. They're sustaining a worse than torture method on each nature of city, like a suburb, let alone like Hartford, Connecticut, specifically designed as a suburban urban, and then overtly urban, consciously, by the organized crime method that facilitated since before our founders' birth, the method to their fact-cheaping nature slavery, to their stolen identities, to the extent of their quality of fake positive, as standing criminal insidious natures, all the captive people that they fought and wanted us to defend ourselves against by defending free speech. They're preventing free speech originally still by pretending they didn't realize originally still we have a whole bunch of nations with fake police involved criminality, especially with psychology, with intercampus, intersciences, respect for titles with integrity. There's non-existent unless it's respect for that nature of criminal insidiousness. These are identity theft rackets roles. There's a Dr. Shub, a whole bunch of people with various natures of courts, his family associated with them, working with them, very ways. Even judges and their family members associated with various natures of courts, as a probate court associated with the family of a Dr. Shub of modern languages. A Leahy family, Dr. Leahy, he has a Brendan Leahy son too, also, and other brothers involved, and women in their family involved, pretending they had conversations with me through time. So I was a kid. These are people attaching kids to fake locations with other, fake relationships to others, fake recorded things into databases with child sex offenders with the Britain Superior Court through time. These are their drug cliques, various natures of courts, criminal uses of databases and of correlation nature. They're using lawyers criminally through time, long-time prosecutors criminally involved, all kinds of ways, on and off CCSU, on and off Trinity College with the same ones facilitated to it. An ILO family recorded and confessed, involved all kinds of ways on off campus, Trinity College, on off CCSU, crime acts. These are predicate acts, clicks, roles, all kinds of natures of lies. They're forging names and switching names interbranch. We need federal stewardship of Connecticut. We need this interstate because these are interstate. These are people with Paul Zano, also recorded, confessed. The only time I ever went with him, besides the school, which was with the role with sequence shifts, so they could lie about the sequence of that. In other words, after he had already graduated, they did that. So I would confirm verbally roles with this. This is how, because these are federal criminals with a former director of the FBI who's associated with other natures of, with a whole bunch of other FBI retired and standing criminally involved, retired and standing judges criminally involved, intermilitary, like Air Force, Paul Kelly, recorded, confessed, and demonstrated by his family's involved with this, interreligious spots with foreign and domestic military with tied predicate acts, like mail crimes, forging names, switching names, crime acts, roles. Then playing games with the wire crimes because they're stealing people's identities. Then they're pretending they're defending themselves. They're not defending themselves. That's recorded. Then they're pretending not to see the evidences. Well, where are the evidence? They were shown the evidences. So then they're also exploiting how this is a whole bunch of juxtaposed natures of crimes at once. They stole my identity with the fake news, WFSB. They're hiding lie progressions for the roles with proven child sex offenders that had further ones recorded involved with it then and now. They have women. If you call up and calmly say that you want to report things specific, they'll say they got nervous from you. Lying! If I yell here, I'm going to yell. They pretend I lied to women. We want to have a fucking response for that. For this what's the name of them? Lombardo, and people around the high school with this Yagman family and with this Lombardo family, with drugs and stuff with this Walters family, drug crime roles, identity theft, crime acts roles, confessed with police forms on off, and with car dealerships involved with police forms and courts with their drug clicks, with all kinds of natures of federal crimes with them, crimes with stealing cars, crimes with cases with the doctors with kids, with prison cliques with kids, sick with those kids through time, all facilitated the crime acts roles with houses in my area from that are gone, families that are gone, and one that is still here that they faked. In other words, there's a D. Simone family recorded and confessed by so many people associated with this Leahy family with federal crime against me. These are people who, there's also with Trinity College. See, now there's also a Joshua Stryker, who's one of the ones involved with this Joshua Julian, also with the Wethersfield police chief, intercity police chiefs, retired and standing, fire departments, retired and standing, on and off Trinity College, on and off Wethersfield ones, on and off West Hartford. These are people that were facilitated crime acts roles, facilitated inter spots with malls. We have shared policing of malls, various ways, and all kinds of natures of malls. See, the facade of businesses, shared policing. This is a pathology of infrastructure that is recorded, criminally foreign influence that was involved with the torture of our founders, the fact treatment nature slavery of our founders, the identity thefts of our founders, and of our American history in our faces so insidiously. See, we have knowledge being used. They're recorded and confessed, using and demonstrated sickly, pretending that because they know more words than the people in the areas with the most shootings. They're pretending that's why they have mental difficulty. They're playing fact treatment nature rackets. The reason they have these problems is because they came through what is intercampuses left criminally foreign influence, breaching screens, breaching weapons, breaching tools, and breaching maintenance roles, all facilitated to this and maintained this way because of how it's how it's juxtaposed, filtered. Nothing in formal had integrity originally. It's still, we need mandated law followed. That means respond when I say Who tell me who denies this? See, because interbranch, they're recorded, confessed, and demonstrating that they're recorded with threats and torture of people, harassment of them, stealing their identities, then charging the people harassment and putting them in jail with a huge bond so they can't say anything for 6 months. With the medical people recorded, confessed, involved with crimes with a principal sex offender when he was still out. Now they're his doctors. Get the hell out of here. We have sick people with psychology, foreign and domestic, on off with the judges criminally involved, uses and roles of police forms involved with mobile gas stations through time, on off with the new location of the Wethersfield Police Department, and the one further with further child offenders on off the Stoustein Middle School. These are intercity schools, though. This is sickly hurting each city distinctly, as the ones furthering it sickly non-distinctly. See, we have people making convictions as who get elected. Then they're talking about the perfect world. You know, they appreciate the forgiveness, how they shouldn't have made those convictions as only identities law. No, see, they can't defend themselves. And in other words, they're defending. Then they're directed to do it by the most insidious. Our directors, foreign and domestic, recorded in a collusion. That's not integrity. You want to know the answers why there's not instant evolution? They're recorded, but you have to follow mandated law. You have to respond. See, they're worried. They put money before everything else because that's already locked into how they lie to themselves and others, and with physical delusions juxtaposed with that. See, we've never had. So I'm not a doctor, but I'm going to show you how originally instilled doctors and lawyers were our prime tools in this method that is against correlation nature, which is a trinity. So they're preventing religious rights by keeping all the religious defended states and areas entrenched sensibilities used as tools. They're using each age of fact-keeping nature as a nature of volume lied into and self-valuing that. Families with what they call intelligence families. These are roles with what really keeps the overt criminal enterprise private one self-valued and juxtaposed with the intercampuses and interbranch needing to hide lie progression and value. That's what keeps them furthering it, needing them to hide lie progression, identity theft, crime acts roles. Identity is the nature of volume. That is this simultaneously, distinctly, and non-distinctly, and simultaneously as what doesn't change. It's just increasing its nature of volume through how it is 5 semi-natures as that one, through how it is 3 semi-natures as that one in the range of positive that we are. This is what the Trinity is about, science. This is what the Quran is about, science. The rest of it is about faith and prayer till we can appreciate the beginning of it in sequence true. No one's letting the beginning of the Quran told true, valued true. No one's letting the beginning of the Old Testament valued true here and there. But per their roles with identity theft racket, self-value, all victim predators. Every identity has the A on the left side, W on the right side of it. 2 V's, left to right, as a means to describe the identity of relationship to itself that is unceasingly distinct, right to left and left to right, simultaneously too. This is a simultaneous nature and demonstration to us of it being the gaining value. English was revealed to teach this. The ancients revealed their languages, how they have grouped, individual, grouped, and to get all together value. The physical cultures are only positive or negative value in demonstration of what is only going to be and stay. The perfect value gain of the nature of volume that is forever nature, that is also positive unto its semi-nature perfect value progression, which is a little bit more of its value coming into and through temporary space nature as how it is gaining as self-generating nature of volume. This is as identity nature. We have identity nature as a sequence nature, simultaneously distinct and non-distinct from all the complete identities of nature that are our body. Each cell is simultaneously an unceasing semi-nature relationship to the organ it makes up. Simultaneously an unceasing semi-nature relationship to our complete identity. Simultaneously an unceasing semi-nature relationship to the identity of value that our volume as a species is. That's why each individual is simultaneously can't help but being a group. Age, sex, area. It also can't help being species, nature, or volume. Nature of volume. We're being an individual is a nature of volume. Being a group is a nature of volume. Being a species in nature of volume. See, we're not letting the individual valued by the republic and by democracy because this is on top of individuals, and they're needing to pretend they're not to understand that. In other words, you have to and the value of a president is as chief, for example, positive or negative, and is that when it's not that value is all automatically positive, it's automatically negative when it's not those values of three things at the same time. Native Americans never had their full rights restored, their full identity of relationship to the ground restored, because that's a part of what was built to keep and maintain self-valued, negative value nature progressions. Action nature blames other causes, other things themselves. That's the breaching organized crime method that American history is really about. That modern histories are really about. It's a story about how they were the fact treatment nature torture of and slavery of, quality of fact treatment nature containment. In other words, fake positive. Criminal insidiousness nature. I'm not a lawyer, not police form. Recorded through time how they put lawyers to stack to further lie progressions because they knew what kind of lies they're going to have to tell through time. These are people with Justice Department record roles led up to and in the Trade Center attack context, which had a relationship to all kinds of other natures of litigation. See, we have natures of agreements with private juxtaposed with overt criminal enterprises, juxtaposed with intersystems, and juxtaposed with interbranches, all database predators, all offensive lie progression cover up nature's needs and roles, states and areas in collusion against whoever becomes chief or president. That's why poverty, tactically, criminally re-engineered, tactically denatured relationship to nature was self-valued right through the Obama administration, right through administration before, because they're Oz when they get to that spot. Leading up to it, they're victims, they're victim predators, everyone of intercampuses, science treatments of every science, types of experts, where and how originally instilled that exploits defenses of that. This originally, it's still juxtaposed, all facilitated to motivations, roles, needs, natures, and interests to hide lies. As lying, standing lie progression cover up natures as breaching screens and tools and weapons. American history was never liberated. The sacrifice we need is not to relax. Thank God the whip's off us for a while. The method stayed on everyone. These were organized crime, slavery method laws against everyone. It's not by accident. Their self-value that obfuscated, not even understood. Especially but that's where divide and conquer is self-valued here. Roles, breaching screens, never letting understood what put slavery in there, which was a whole bunch of intercultural nations that took over internation sciences. And the way they did it was not having anyone realize that was going to make everyone devalue the species, nature of volume with fact treatments. That was going to devalue their nature of sophistication, and they tricked, forced, hurt, And worse, made modern nations forced into this. Modern religions came after the scientists were already criminally foreign influenced. So what? Then they defended that. So they can't defend themselves in the treatments of what they call sciences, and us at the same and free speech with their hands on religion. True. So offensively, they keep the religions, states, and areas dual roles with the branches still for in sequence, individually, criminally foreign influenced, grouped and together. Weathersfield police have been long criminally acting with the FBI, with various natures of courts, intercities through time. They have live progressions tied to that. They have no integrity when it comes to the question. The only integrity they have is as victim predators. So if they want to have, where and how everyone is a victim discussion, they've been exploiting it too long. So they can't have us they can't have us use correlations means. Correlations identities means as an evidence. As when people are saying that they believe things are recorded that they know are not interbranch. So that's types of evidence that needs response, mandated law, but they're not following mandated law because they've been sequence shifting, forging names, and switching names into branch. That's worse because they were motivated after their crime acts roles with databases and on and off campuses leading up to that. Every year of my life, the same ones from CCSU, recorded, confess all kinds of sequence shift roles, all kinds of crime roles with Cuddy family. I never had one conversation with in my life. People associated with crimes on and off the state judicial branch offices, on and off the state prison offices with them, with WFSB, fake news crime acts, a Faenza family, criminally involved with them with the bodies dumping spot of Billy Grasso, with the Joshua Julian spreading lies with FBI and with foreign and domestic police and overt criminal enterprises and private ones criminally involved with those criminal enterprises through time, and with CCSU confessed and recorded crime acts roles with media involved with overt criminal enterprises like and with foreign and domestic military leading up to and then in the Trade Center attack context, and then courts and cases since further criminally involved tied to the proven sequence shift inside the Ninth Circuit. And fake news is also recorded and confessed crimes with criminal roles with Connecticut campuses and uses of their roles and conversations with people criminally on the campuses, off the campuses, and fake news crime acts with local Connecticut news. And these are with crime acts roles with CCSU, with CNN, recorded and confessed also. And so then Fox CT is also connected to Fox News, fake sides, because these are also networks that have crimes with the people that work for them, not just their interbranch for retired and standing and private sources and police forms and stuff like that. Those are all criminally foreign influence. You look around the corner from Fox Connecticut News, that's why there are shootings there. These are people crime roles with on off CCSU, other campuses, criminally with military, foreign and domestic, criminally involved with criminal justice cliques, the jobs with them. They're dirty rap mobs. They're disgusting people with sexual circles. They're victims. They're victim predators. So you say that these are people that are sustaining hurt on each area because they need to defend each other in misprision. They have no one. In other words, they need to hide each other's personal, grouped, and together lives as knaves with areas, pretending they're justice the whole time, pretending they're truth tellers, offensively knowing they're not, preventing mandated law, saying, "Oh, sue." That's why various natures of courts are crime acts doing that by forging names, switching names, valuing already having been used criminally states attorneys, databases, their own other database tied to them, criminal uses of people at the end of the Burlington Turnpike, businesses that gravestone place right at the end of the Burlington Turnpike before the heart of Hartford, that cemetery and the golf course next to it. Through time, involved with what they call the intelligence community, people with the Sharkies place, People in my area with interbranch family members, FBI involved with child sex offenders, medical offenders, database crime acts in cases against each age of fact, treatment nature. These are sick people that work with the kids with, and you know that's when the food comes out for each age. That's what with the elderly. That's what they're doing with the elderly homes. These people have everyone backed in the corners. They have value nature systems, tactically ulterior from the one that's the value the one that's inseparable from all people and all things at the same time, and as the one that causes positive or negative value nature progressions in relationship to it. And it doesn't do it without the ground. In other words, you can't. In other words, really, what causes the positive and negative value nature progressions? See, we're in value nature systems designed to keep that masked, designed to keep that self-valued masked by modern age. And modern age, each identity of the law, each position of the identity of the ground, self-value, criminally foreign influence, tactically denatured relationship to nature since before cars. You gotta wake up. You gotta wake up real fast. Fix the fake news. Start class. Don't even dream of pretending that they were having a Weathersfield election.